Good morning.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole?
To work together for compassion, justice, and transformation within our community and the wider world. So now please rise in body or in spirit as we sing our opening hymn, We Shall Be Known.
I'm going to play through it one time because we don't have it in our hymnal, so just so you can get familiar with the melody. I'll play through it and then we'll sing it.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time to lead ourselves into the way. It is time now, and what a time to be alive in the great turning. We shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love.
You may be seated. I would like to invite Penny Bartlett to light our chalice this morning. The chalice is the primary symbol of Unitarian Universalism. It serves as a beacon guiding us on our path. It represents hope, the sacred, the quest for truth, the warmth of community, and the life of reason. Thank you, Penny. So, my name is Craig Harris, and I shall be the worship associate this morning. Joy Thiessen, as you've just heard her wonderful playing, is providing our beautiful music, and our speaker is Desiree Murphy Morrisey. She will introduce herself after a few brief announcements. Well, you haven't heard the announcements yet. They can't be funny yet. Okay. A peer support group has been formed to provide a safe, welcoming space for LGBTQIA+ adults to find emotional, spiritual, and social support. It will be meeting on Zoom first Wednesdays and in person third Wednesdays. There will also be a Zoom meeting on July 30th. You can reach out to Adrian Teodoro or Sharon Clem for more information. The book club will be meeting this Saturday at 1 o'clock to discuss a book whose title is the longest book title I've seen in a long time. The Lady in Gold, the extraordinary tale of Gustav Klimt's masterpiece, Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer, by Anne-Marie O'Connor. If you know a longer title, we can talk about it later. Everyone is welcome to read the book, join in the discussion, and for more info, contact Brian Bowes. Now, there were not too many things going on here during the pandemic, but one bright spot was a staged reading of Neil Simon's play, The Sunshine Boys. It's a bittersweet comedy about two aging comedians, and rumor has it that it will be brought back sometime in the fall. Stay tuned for details. After the service, you are invited to stick around for refreshments and good companionship and conversation in Fellowship Hall. And for you folks online, stay on Zoom after the service to chat and share fellowship. You'll need to provide your own refreshments. So, we are very happy to have as our speaker this morning Desiree Murphy Morrisey. You may have heard her at the anti-Trump rally this past April at the Media Courthouse or seen her on TV. But rather than having me talk about her, I will let her introduce herself.
Good morning. So happy to be with you this morning. It's so beautiful. I keep looking out the window at all the butterflies. I'm Desiree Murphy Morrisey. I'm the founder and CEO of Murphy's Giving Market in Upper Darby. We were founded at the start of the pandemic. I'm a teacher first. I work in Philadelphia. I work in Head Start. Hopefully I still have a job once this person is finished. But I work in Head Start in Philly, and I work with special needs children. I first started my first food pantry in schools because children just didn't have food, and if kids can't eat, they can't learn. So that's where Murphy's Market originally started. I'm just happy to be with you today, and I'll be telling you more about Murphy's Market later. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. We gather here today a diverse tapestry of individuals, each with our own hopes, dreams, and perhaps questions. Yet in this space, we are united by a common thread, the human desire for meaning, for connection, for something greater than ourselves. Let us open our minds and hearts to the possibilities of this shared journey, finding strength and inspiration in our collective presence as we embark on this time of reflection and renewal. Now, we all have many things that we hold in our hearts. Some we openly discuss, others we do not. Your spirit may be lifted with joy or brought low in sorrow and concern. We honor those feelings by dropping stones into a bowl of water. And just as the stones are held by the water, so are all who drop them held by love in this community. If you would care to do so, please file up the aisle over on this side and return down the center aisle. All are invited to join in this ritual. Those online can join us by entering their joys and sorrows in the chat. I dropped 2 more stones into the water. One is for the joys and sorrows of those who are with us online, and the other is for the hundreds of people who have died or are still missing in the floods in Texas, as well as their families and loved one. At this time, we will sing Spirit of Life, Please Remain Seated.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the giving life the shape of justice. Roots only close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
During the summer, instead of having separate RE classes for different age groups, we have the Summer Sparklers program. This week's theme is the Spark of Wonder. Joy will play our sending song 3 times, once for everyone to get the melody, a second time for sparkler leaders to head out of the sanctuary, and a third time for the kids to join them in the lobby. Parents can pick them up at 11 o'clock.
You are sunlight, you are rain. May you bless this space again. You are the sky above. As you leave, you go with love. You are sunlight, you are rain. May you bless this space again. You are the sky above. As you leave, you go with love. You are sunlight, you are rain. May you bless this space again. You are the sky above. As you leave, you go with love.
Local organizations are scrambling amid steep federal funding cuts. A program that helps food banks is losing $420 million. Another program that feeds school children in need of food is losing $660 million. As Delaware County reporter Madeline Wright explains, this comes as hunger is on the rise.
Beef, bacon.
Michael D'Angelo takes pride in serving his Delaware County community. He's a volunteer at Murphy's Giving Market, a food pantry in Upper Darby that helps nearly 3,000 people a month.
This is a huge part of helping with that food insecurity piece, especially the fresh fruits and veggies.
But the shelves here are emptier than usual. Desiree Murphy Morrisey, the founder of the food pantry, says her organization is starting to feel the effects of the U.S. Department of Agriculture's $1 billion cut in assistance.
I'm extremely worried because a lot of our funding comes from the federal government by way of food banks, and if they're cut and we already don't have food right now to feed people, how much less will we have then?
Another challenge facing the market, tariffs on foreign imports. These grapes come from Peru, and these bell peppers from Mexico. Murphy Morrisey says most of the produce here actually comes from Canada.
Food prices are so high now, and now with the expected tariffs, it's going to get even higher, which means we are able to purchase less.
A third challenge is that Congress is considering cuts to programs that some of the clients here use, like Medicaid and Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. Despite the uncertainty, D'Angelo says families are grateful.
I mean, nothing but smiles in the midst of pain and hunger and struggle.
He's urging people to write letters to their representatives to voice support for the pantry, which is ramping up fundraising efforts. For now, he says he'll continue his work of stamping out hunger. In Upper Darby, Delaware County, Madeline Wright, CBS News, Philadelphia.
At this time, baskets will be passed around for our offering. Although many of us regularly give
local organizations,
this is also a way of giving to the community. Half of all donations will be given to our Share the Plate partner for this summer, the Media Food Bank. Please give generously.
And I'll sing us a song that reminds us of a sentiment that no matter where we are, it's always good to remember to give thanks. This is by India Ari. Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks for all that is. Give praise, give
give praise for all that is. There will never ever be another day just like this day, so let's give thanks now. Selah, 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 for all that is. Ashe, 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 for all that is. Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks for all that is. There will never ever be another day just like this day, so let's give thanks now. We give praise and Ashe, Selah, Namaste. We give thanks for all that is.
Thank you, Joy. That was just so beautiful. The title of my sermon this morning is When the Need Arose, a Community Stood Up. We must carry each other's burdens. As I stated previously, I'm a teacher in Philadelphia, and just seeing the need of some of our families and the expectations that children should learn when they don't even have nourishment was heartbreaking. During the COVID-19 pandemic, food grew scarce again, when families who had once given freely were now the ones in our lines. Many working families from all backgrounds found themselves suddenly needing help, when neighbors were forced to choose between nourishment and necessity. It was during this time that Murphy's Given Market became more than just a food pantry. It became a refuge, a table in the wilderness, a place where dignity was never denied and hunger did not have the final word. You see, because of the concern for people and children not having food during the pandemic, that's how Murphy's initially started. It started with me just collecting food and reaching out to social workers at the schools to make sure that kids ate. Because what people don't know is that not only do schools educate children, we feed them, we check on their safety, we check on their mental health. So when schools were closed, none of that was happening. But that's how we initially started. It was March 17th, after seeing all the posts on social media about why schools should remain open, that's when we decided to put together baskets to give to families. We were checking on children's safety. We were checking in with social workers. At first, we just intended to work with the social workers and get the food to the kids, but then it grew into much more. Many of the food pantries at that time closed because who runs food pantries? Seniors, people that are disabled, and those are the ones that were most vulnerable. So what we decided to do was bring all the food to my house in Upper Darby. And so in box trucks, every day, my neighbors hated me, the box trucks would pull up and we put pallets, my neighbors hate me anyway, but we put pallets down and we brought the food to the house, to the yard, to sort the food to give to pantries that were staying open. But what we found is that our neighbors, some of them that had the financial ability just didn't have access to food. So we were giving out the food to other churches, and it was one Latina lady that walked down the street, and she said, "Is this free?" And we said, "Yes." She said, "Can we have some?" And I said, "Sure." She said, "Can I call my sister?" Well, she had 75 sisters because I had a line. I had a line down the street and around the corner within minutes, and it was just then that it clicked that we have to do something. For years, I've done food pantries and helped people reimagine how to serve people with dignity in Philadelphia, but I never did it in my backyard because of that neighbor. I just felt like we weren't wanted or welcomed in Upper Darby at first, but then I felt at home at that moment. So we were in the backyard for a year and a half, and 100-degree weather, and 13-degree weather, and sleet and snow, because people were still coming out because the need was just that great. We started with about 30-something families, and it grew to 110 Easter week of 2021. My neighbors hate me. And then I went on Fox News, and they said, hey, Desiree, what do you need? I said, I need a building. I need a place to do this. I was supposed to do this for 2 weeks because the pandemic was 2 weeks. Then it was supposed to be 2 months because the pandemic was 2 months. And now it's become like my life. And Phil Abundance reached out, because I had already worked with them, but some of the other partners, and they said, we're going to help you get a building. If you find a building, we'll pay your rent for 2 years. And that's what they did. So in 2021 of July, we moved into that space where we are now. And in about 3 weeks, we'll be buying our building. Thank you. We are the largest food pantry in Delaware County. We serve about 3,500 of our neighbors each month. We work hard to fight and combat the social determinants of health. So it's not just food, it's clothing, it's healthcare access. Today we have a clinic with St. Joe's at the market. It's diapers, it's education, not just education about like teaching ESL classes, but education about how to work the systems in America, because they're not set up for everyone. And now we're being called again, called to support physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, and equally as important, to advocate and to be a voice for the voiceless, hope to the hopeless, and help for those that we can help, which is everyone. And when I say we, I don't mean just Murphys. I mean we that are in this room. I mean we that are online. We that are in your homes when you return. I mean the we that's everybody. Here are just some facts to help put things in perspective. 12% of all families in Delaware County are food insecure, which is higher than the national average, yet DELCO is one of the wealthiest counties in Pennsylvania. These low-income families, single-parent households, and individuals with disabilities make up that 12%. Every 1 in 6 children are food insecure. In a classroom of 30 students, that's 5 children, every 5 children that don't have access to food. It hurts Title I funding. We got my notice recently that Title funding for schools is going to be cut, which means no ESL classes, no migrant education, and then eventually no special education. Medicaid is cut, which means children with disabilities won't have occupational therapy, speech therapy, vision support, all of those things when it's cut. The Supplemental Nutrition Program supports families in accessing food. This supplement is not a full meal replacement, but rather a supplement assuming that people can supplement the balance, which is 20 to 30% of the groceries they need. SNAP is $6 a day per person. You cannot get a Wawa hoagie for $6, but yet we think that people should be able to purchase food for their families on $6 a day. Well, not we think, but somebody thinks that. Food insecurity rates have increased 44% over the last 2 years. The 2 years, it's higher now than it was during the pandemic. People of color are 3 times more likely to be food insecure. Community initiatives like food pantries, Media Food Bank, Murphy's, and others aim to improve access to nutritious food and raise awareness about food insecurity. These cuts would also mean job losses for those who are employed by those agencies, such as SNAP and Medicaid. It would also make it very hard for individuals to receive access to health care. One other announcement that came this week is that undocumented children cannot go to school. They can't go to preschool because it's federally funded by Head Start. So that means half of our jobs in Head Start will be cut. That means children will not be educated. Another announcement that came this week is that people who are undocumented cannot have access to not just Medicaid, because they already don't, but they can't even visit a free health clinic. The health clinics will be shut down if they serve undocumented people. Undocumented is not illegal. We have to make sure that we fight to stop the federal cuts. States are already strapped out. Pennsylvania cannot afford to take on the load of what the government was providing. It plans to extend work requirements to 64 and start at age 14, as if like our 14-year-olds can work right now, and go to school. Estimated 11 million people nationwide live in households at risk of losing some of these cuts. Harm to school meals, loss of direct certification, title funding has already been cut or withheld with the plan for it to eventually go away. The Farm Bill has been cut. Cuts to Medicaid would be historic, over $700 billion, taking away benefits from many and cost prohibitive for all. Changes at the national level have rippled into our neighborhoods. Food programs have tightened or completely been eliminated. There's a difference between a food bank and a food pantry. A food bank is a supplier, like Phil Abundance and Share, who shares in Delaware County now. A food pantry are the distributors of the food. So if the suppliers are cut, then it's less for us to distribute. That means we have to purchase food because we're not going away. The USDA has reduced, and the pressure is back on the states to fight for funding to feed their families. There is no nonprofit, there is no organization, and there's no state funding that can replace what's been cut by the federal government. In the past, we would spend about $3,000 a month supplementing our government food. Last month, we spent $7,000 a week. $7,000 a week is a lot, and that's just a supplement. Support systems, once accessible, now feel out of reach. Immigrant families facing increasing fear and uncertainty. Some are at risk and afraid to ask for help. Some already have been cut off, and some were never able to get help in the beginning. Some were never eligible. Some are fearing to leave their houses, so we're doing home deliveries. Fearing a place where they left a place of fear to come to America and be in fear. That's not my America. Some opting to self-deport because our country is worse than their own countries. At MGM, we are constantly challenged on how we can combat this administration. At times, we feel like we're just bobbing and weaving, like weebles, like we just keep going one way, but we're not gonna fall down. While the current administration is making all these policies, I need you to hear this. No policy can silence compassion. No law can outlaw love. And this time, we have got to spread more love because love will conquer all. We, the people of this community, have shown before that when a child goes without breakfast, we show up with groceries. When a mother fears seeking help for her family, we surround her with safety. When Murphy's Given Market cried out for support, the community answered, not with charity, but with solidarity, commitment, and consistency. We are not here to wait for a rescue. We're here to be the rescue. Someone once asked if I thought poverty could ever be cured in America, if America would ever be free of poor financially. The answer is yes. If the most wealthy paid their taxes, that would be $275 billion, and no one would be poor. It only costs $277 billion. That means it's only $2 billion that the U.S. would have to pay to rid the United States of poverty. I don't think that'll ever happen because people get rich off the poor. Politics aside, this is still about people, about humanity, and is not red or blue. It's about bread and belonging. It is about the command to defend the oppressed, to take up the cause, and to plead the case. And so we rise again. We've done it before. We'll do it again. We have to fight until right is regular. We have to normalize justice and humanity by donating, organizing, and refusing to let anyone in our neighborhood go unseen or unfed. May your hearts reopen, may your hands be ready, and may Murphy's Market continue to be a sanctuary of justice and mercy and unwavering love. And before I close, I want to tell you a story about Rosemary. Rosemary came to Murphy's Market about 2 years ago from Venezuela. She was here seeking asylum. Rosemary brought her husband. Rosemary would volunteer, he would volunteer. And one day, Rosemary came to us, and she was all distraught. And I said, what's the matter? And she said, well, I'm pregnant, and I don't have health care. And I said, Rosemary, you have 4 children in Venezuela that you can't take care of. You're here, you're struggling. Why are you having another baby? And she said, I don't have a choice in America. I can't get health care, so I can't get birth control. And if I can't afford condoms, so we start giving out condoms now because people just don't have choices. So Mary volunteered with us. We carried her through her labor and delivery. We held her baby as she shopped or she volunteered. And Rosemary called us in distress a few months ago because her neighbors were fighting. And her neighbors that the husband was hurting the wife. And so her husband called the police. And somehow the police decided they wanted to detain him. So Rosemary called upset. We went to court with them. Rosemary is spicy. She knows her rights. We do know your rights trainings. And when the judge went to hear the case, ICE came in and took her husband. The judge wasn't even allowed to hear the case. Rosemary got upset and hit one of the ICE officers. He pointed at her. She became instantly fearful. Rosemary developed a plan with us that if she were to be detained, we would keep her American-born baby until we can get the baby to her to safety. Rosemary took a bus from Philadelphia to Texas. When we talked to Rosemary, she walked to Honduras and to get back to Venezuela. That was the last time we spoke to Rosemary. We pray every day that she made it back home with her baby on her back with nothing. That is not the America that I want to live in. I hope to see Rosemary one day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Desiree. At this time, let us rise in body or spirit, or both, as we sing our closing hymn, We'll Build a Land.
We can replace the lyrics sisters and brothers in the chorus with people together to make it more inclusive.
Dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a land
Just one last quick note. Next week's guest speaker will be storyteller Denise McCormick. Now please remain standing as we recite our benediction, and the chalice will be extinguished. For those who come here seeking God, may God go with you. For those who come embracing life, may life return your affections. And for those who come to seek a path, may a way be found and the courage to take it, step by step. Blessed be.